Greetings, villains and villainies, heroes and heroines. You're tuned in to Project SuperVillain. I'm your host, Arc Drifter, and today I'll be taking you through the top 5 games of May. Let's hop into it. Number 5, Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. Coming out May 23rd for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and for the Nintendo Switch. It's developed by Auroch Digital and published by Focus Entertainment. Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun is a nostalgia blast of a shooter. It pairs a classic 16-bit Doom-inspired FPS with the aesthetics and recognizability of the Warhammer 40k universe. It's pretty straightforward. Make your way as a Space Marine through multiple levels of FPS bullet hell while you carve your way through hordes of Chaos Marines and demons. The developers made note that there's an influence of modern gaming at play here, like modern enemy behavior AI. Bet your ass Killboss won't let us sleep on this one. Not that I'd want to. Number 4, Amnesia: The Bunker. Coming out May 23rd for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series S and X. It's developed and published by Frictional Games. Amnesia is a first-person survival franchise that's been featured on the forefront of YouTuber Let's Plays since as long as Let's Plays were a thing. How could anyone forget? This installment of the Amnesia franchise has us playing as a soldier in World War I that appears to be all alone in a dark and ominous bunker with all but one bullet left. Using limited supplies, you'll need to try and make it out alive. In true survival horror fashion, resources will be scarce and so will guidance or help of any kind. Can the devs recapture the magic of the original games with this release? Be sure to remember to check this one out on May 23rd. Number 3, The Outlast Trials. Coming out May 18th on the PC for early access, this is developed and published by Red Barrels. Keeping it in the horror genre, the Outlast franchise is a stealth horror series where you need to run and hide, and that's pretty much generally the gameplay loop. It's scary and grim as hell. With disturbing imagery and acts done throughout the series, expect that theme to continue in this game, but the main difference is this is an up to 4-player co-op multiplayer game. This basically takes the idea of Saw and brings it to Outlast as a multiplayer game, which is arguably scarier than anything in the game itself. Outlast is known for its single player, and this is clearly a step in the new direction. So, we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. So you and your friends will need to face trials to escape the evil Dr. Murkov, and these look pretty innovative and will involve teamwork to complete. An interesting idea that I hope they stick the landing on. This game is coming to us as early access, so it'll be a while before we get a full release date. Apparently the developers are taking a look at the comments and the reviews made by people over the early access here, and we'll get a full release date as soon as they feel it's in a perfect state, I guess. For now, they have promised that the game will launch in a fully playable state. So expect this to launch PC early access on May 18th. Number 2, System Shock. Coming out May 30th for the PC exclusively, it's developed by Night Dive Studios and published by Prime Matter. This ground-up remake of System Shock is coming to us at the tail end of the month, but looks promising, and if it holds true to the original, we're in for a great game. It features updated and modernized gameplay, all new HD visuals, new music and sounds, as well as an overhauled interface. The original voice actor Terry Brosius makes a return as Shodan as well. If you know nothing of the series, well, to sum it up, it's one of the most influential first-person shooter RPGs out there. It's not a run-and-gun kind of shooter as much as it is a strategy shooter. It's important to prioritize weak points and exploit weaknesses using the entirety of your kit. It looks amazing visually, and I can't wait to try it. We got 2 honorable mentions today. The first one is Redfall. Coming out May 2nd for the PC and the Xbox Series S and X. Developed by Arcane Studios, published by Bethesda. Another 4-player co-op shooter. This one is influenced heavily by other Arcane titles, but it'll take you on a journey to Redfall, a small and quaint town that is unfortunately overrun by vampires. And the gameplay from what's being said online is a mix-up of different things being put into one. And the gameplay from what's being said online is kind of a mix-up of different games kind of put into one. It takes that Arcane style, but this time in a full open world, and it mixes it with a looter-shooter experience. It's said to be able to feature offline single player at some point, but I guess the game's one of those like always online games. It does feature single player, but you can play it with up to 3 friends, untethered, and supporting crossplay between PC and Xbox. It also mixes hero shooter elements in, as each character has their own abilities and strengths. There's a variety, I think 4 different characters to choose from at the start, and there's apparently going to be more added in the future. Starting in a safe house, you'll undergo missions that will see you completing various objectives and killing various vampires and cultists, not to mention bosses. There's also vampire caves that you can enter that are essentially like dungeons that'll be replayable and will feature like a variety of rewards. Take the town back from vampires and slowly make each area peaceful and vamp free. It'll be interesting to see how this game does, coming out really soon, just in a few days on May 2nd. And our next honorable mention, The Lord of the Rings, Gollum. May 25th brings us the new Gollum game for the PC, the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, the Series S, and X. It's developed and published by Daedalic Entertainment. It's also published by Nacon. A game I feel like nobody really asked for, but here it is. It's Gollum. This one's looking a little funky to me, but it's Lord of the Rings, so I feel like I have to say something. It's going to be a game that's based on the book continuity, as opposed to the movies, and it's a stealth game with a focus on decision making. It features a bit of a morality system as you're presented with multiple voices in your head, that of Gollum and Smeagol. Each will have different input on your current situation, and it's said these decisions will make an impact on the end of the game. Gollum will have you making more brash and forward decisions, and Smeagol will be more careful and anxious. Neither are necessarily good or bad as much as they are simply dynamic. On top of this, it seems to have a diverted focus on platforming and climbing. It turns out Smeagol's on the same level as Nathan Drake and Ezio Auditore in the climbing department. It does seem interesting, and I'm sure you're perked up if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings universe. This precious game comes out May 25th. And number 1, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Coming out May 12th for the Nintendo Switch exclusively, of course, developed and published by Nintendo. Who could be surprised to see Zelda on the top of the list? It's surely going to be a must-play title once again this year. If Nintendo somehow messed this up, they'd never hear the end of it from anyone, so it's probably going to be a good one. Let's just put that out there. Breath of the Wild was such a massive success, this sequel has Game of the Year written all over it. If the devs can deliver more of what made Breath of the Wild so great, as well as innovate enough to stand above the rest of the games this year, this story will continue right after the events of Breath of the Wild and its DLC. Many massive changes have taken place across the giant already existing map. New enemies, new bosses, plenty of brand new mechanics. It really doesn't seem like they're slacking here. The innovation looking into this sequel is really mind-blowing, and it would take a whole video to go over the many apparent new mechanics in the game. They are really going for that Game of the Year this year, and judging by what we've seen, it's going to be a tough one to beat. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out May 12th. Don't miss it. Well, that's going to conclude our top 5 for this month. Those are some pretty epic looking games. Definitely a lot of horror games in this list this time around. Looks like an October list to me, but anyway, that being said, if you want to see next month's list, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you want to like the video, that really helps us out a lot, so I appreciate that. Let me know what your favorite releases of this month down in the comments below. If you were to reorder this list, what would your favorite be? Let me know. But that being said, I'm going to be taking off. Oh yeah, last thing real quick, make sure you check out the merch links down below if you want to get yourself some villain wear and support the channel. But that's it for today's video. So thanks for joining, thanks for watching. Project Dismissed. Peach out.